Welcome back to my channel, everybody. It's the day after Christmas, and basically I communicated with a good portion of my family, especially the persons who I've mentioned previously on this channel, and some, very precisely, and some in other ways. But after having done that, I felt a great weight had been lifted off of my shoulders. And the unusual thing is that I didn't reach out to just, a few people. I reached out to pretty much anyone with whom I had been actively communicating, or as I like to put it, miscommunicating, because for whatever reason, we're unable to move past the boundaries of what's true and what's fiction. So my dad's sister was one of the main persons who I spoke with yesterday at great length. We went in another kind of roundabout conversation where we discussed how we needed to possibly address the circumstance where my possible alleged methamphetamines using father might be able to open up to communications. So she and I tried to talk about ways that we could make this work. And once again, the circumstance was such that when I asked my dad's sister to also involve her husband in this conversation that we're hoping to organize with my father, who has been so far combative and non-communicative. And my dad's sister said, "Oh no, my husband doesn't get involved. He doesn't want to get involved because of the things you said in your letters to us." And so I asked her to kind of elaborate, what were these bad things in the letter that are keeping her husband from participating. And furthermore, as she pointed out in the text message, which you can read here, she said that I said bad things to her son-in-law. And the thing about that is, when I asked her to clarify what those bad things were, well, she didn't know. All she did was send me exactly what, according to her daughter and or son-in-law had said specifically. It wasn't her that said these things that she texted to me directly. It was something she was just repeating from someone else. She said that the son-in-law didn't want to talk with me because of bad things. The reason that you're seeing this on this channel, possibly, if you're even watching this at all, I assume most people tune out because you're like, what does this have to do with the employment, channel that I've come to enjoy here? Well, it has a lot to do with it, because the person who reputedly had denied me from a social gathering is someone who was my a superior, and when we did work together, and we worked together at a pretty high level. I worked in the tech sector, I guess you would call it, and I'm not trying to get too specific, because if this person who I said bad things to really thinks I said bad things and wanted to banish me from the house, then generally they themselves should have contacted me to uninvite me from a social gathering to which I was invited to previously, but they didn't. So that brings us to this point. If you've been listening to me for more than just this episode, you understand what all of these circumstances are, and what I'm telling you is a circular conversation, and why this is being presented here in public. This is a voicemail that my dad's sister recently left me. Like most bullies, she only enjoys talking one-on-one and without anyone else listening to the conversation who could validate that some of these things are either true or not quite true. Just because my dad's sister may actually love my dad and even myself doesn't mean that she didn't participate in hiding my father from me for over a month when her family moved my father out of a rehab facility, during which time he signed over his property to them. And they all profited from this transaction, from basically the sale of property from a man who had just burned down his house. So again, this text is from my father's sister, who basically helped invite me and uninvite me from the family, according to whether or not we're going to have conversations that bring certain things to light. So again, from my perspective, it appears that she wants to have these topical conversations that make it seem like we're on, family grounds, but she also will not have my voice present at any place where she and additional family members are present. And the same goes for most of the siblings who, in general, just won't talk to me at all. But none of them will talk with me in person, basically because of the what the higher ups say. So again, that's why this ties into the work-related format that you're currently seeing this on, possibly. If you haven't listened, you might think that I'm arrogant and I'm presenting a one-sided story. I'm presenting a one-sided story that doesn't give the other people the opportunity to speak. That's not the case. Once again, my father's sister, who has great concern for my father and the things that he might do, including harming other people and or himself, has been trying to coerce me into establishing a way for me to go communicate with him one-on-one. And I've been telling her that this isn't, it's not something I can make happen without someone else there, because otherwise we continue to all run into these circular conversations. I'm not heartless. I don't want my dad to be suffering through these years without having any kind of family contact. And I also would like to have an honest conversation with him if he wants to have a conversation like that. Hope that makes sense to the general viewer who continues to tell me that I'm doing this in the wrong way, or the general, let's call it former associate of mine, who says that this kind of stuff needs to be handled through counseling. I hope that you don't mind that I'm asking my own family, who knows what the problem is, to get involved. And I hope that you continue to share content like this, showcasing the fact that people can have conversations with their family members in public. They can speak their truth, even if their voice shakes when they're speaking their truth. And they can share that insight as an example for other people to learn how to be more responsible and to treat each other with more dignity and compassion. So, with all of that in mind, yeah, it was an interesting holiday. By the time you're seeing this will be at least 2 days after the holiday itself. And I'm just calling it a holiday because, the people here, it doesn't matter what it's called. If I call it something one way or another, it's going to offend somebody. Just like even the name of this channel could offend someone into not being able to have a full conversation with me. Maybe they themselves could have helped me, but instead they looked upon me in a different way and tried to basically, in a bigoted way, deny the capability of having any kind of participation in the conversation. Just like my aunt's husband, apparently, according to my aunt, who is one of our mothers, who should be able to nurture families instead of just letting them kind of wash away while watching TV in the comfort of basically their retirement age of life. My own father, he has all of these capabilities as well, but I can tell you, he's probably not as happy as he could be. And you can hear the passion in my voice when I talk about this circumstance, that it's a sore point. And so if my father's not reaching out to me and I have a mutual agreement that I'm not going to talk with him unless he speaks the truth, and if my family has the awareness that I'm not going to speak with any of them who basically helped rob his property unless we have other people present so that we can verify the truth of what it is that happened, if I can't have that happen, well, this is basically my option. This is my presentation to you for this year, possibly for next year. I've got videos preloaded for a good period of time. Comments are turned off so that basically we don't need to continue to have circular conversations over and over about basically how something should or should not be handled. That's what this channel is about. It's a YouTube platform, and I'm presenting this in the way that I feel fit. And so if you want to do something different on your page, go ahead and do that. In the meantime, I hope you click on the thumbs up for sure and subscribe, or click on the thumbs down, but go ahead and still subscribe, because that really helps my channel and that really helps the algorithm, and it really helps other people to also speak their truth. So until next time, peace, love, and all that old school stuff.